All right, Kim, we are back for session 2, our afternoon session of our deep dive into the Launch 3.0. You ran to Duncan.
I
I'm
did.
impressed.
Jason, I ran to Duncan. Needed
went-
a little.
I went to my refrigerator.
So good travel. Good to get up, stretch the legs.
Yes. We did a little dog walk. It's nice. It's nice out today.
Oh, good.
Got
I
some
feel like I'm a little
lunch.
bright. Is this too bright? Here. There. Cool. So this second half, we're going to break it down. I'll do blocks and how they've changed in 3.0, and then I'll do some add-ons. We have a list. Try to get through as many as I can. I'll have to set them up from scratch and then do the testing. And then 3 o'clock, looking forward to the future. What's next? What's coming next? We're always on to the next thing. Jason was saying, he's like, I'm not good at just like being in this moment and celebrating where we're at. He's like, what's next? You know,
The whole team's like that, though. I mean, even like when we were sitting around the table in Africa, we're like, okay, like 3.0 is basically out the door. What's 3.1 going to be? What's 4.0 going to be?
It's just hard. That's the nature, I guess, of an entrepreneur. And hopefully you guys are the same with your sites that you're creating. You're always like, okay, good. Like we reached this milestone, how do we get to the next one and keep achieving? It's just being entrepreneurial.
There's a question about any changes to LearnDash LMS integration. We're going to have Kim do the block stuff first, and then courses, I think, is on our add-ons list. So we will get to that. So just stay tuned and bear with us, but we will get to the courses stuff.
Yes. And let us know if you're using our integration for LearnDash in the PMPro courses add-on, or if you're using the one that LearnDash is the author of, because I think we've contacted them. I don't know if they got back to you, Sam. We tried to contact everyone that's a third-party plugin that integrates with Paid Memberships Pro, just to give them the heads up about 3.0 and if they can test their integration and make sure it's working. So we have some information about that from some sites.
I can't recall if they got back to me or not.
Okay. All right. Good. Blocks. Ready?
Ready to go.
Okay. So the WordPress block editor, it's grown a lot. It's changed a lot in the years since it was, became available to us. We know that I think nearly half or almost half, over half of our sites are using Elementor. So the block editor is not the number one page builder that people are using with Paid Memberships Pro. It's the one we use for our own site for creating our pages and landing pages. So building in good block support for Paid Memberships Pro, it's important to us. We also support several other page builders in varying levels of the same features. Some of the features I'll demonstrate today aren't supported by the page builders and the features we have for compatibility for them, but ask a question and maybe I can give you a workaround or teach you the beauty of the block editor, and maybe the next project you build, or if you overhaul anything, you might consider using the native WordPress page building tools instead of installing a page builder, but totally your preference. I'm going to demonstrate some of the blocks and what's new about them. So when you install Paid Memberships Pro, it still automatically adds the short code to the generated pages. Why? We're not sure if you're using Elementor. And if you are, and we put a block on this page that gets generated, it wouldn't work in Elementor the way that you need it to. So we continue to generate the pages on a fresh install with the short code to load the page content. Let me turn off distraction mode here. Okay. So the default short code there is going to be what's loading all of this. Actually, let me switch myself to MemberLite.
And Kim, while you're switching, someone in the comment said that their site automatically updated to 3.0. We are recommending for this update, turn off those automatic updates and check things like custom code, different things that are very, very unique to your site before you update to 3.0. Because
it's my understanding that the WordPress plugin auto updates don't run on major releases, but I don't know who your host is. Share who your host is, and we'll try to make sure that it's not running. It's our understanding that that's not going to happen automatically when a major version is released for a plugin. I don't like to hear that. I'm sorry that happened, because it should be a decision to do, because we do not recommend rolling back. We have an article that we'll publish sometime this week if you have to roll back, what you need to be aware of. But hopefully things are just working the way that they should for your site, and it's not been problematic that an automatic update ran. That's
They
weird
said
to
it
hear.
seems to be working fine.
Okay.
But
Did you do the database update process?
For those who are coming in and missed the first session, we did say we recommend testing on a staging site first, checking your custom code, and then when you are sure, push it to your live site.
Yeah, and if you are using premium add-ons and don't have an active license, go look at the repository, the GitHub repos for them if you feel technical, or reach out on our contact form. Many of our add-ons had updates for 3.0. And if you're using an outdated version of a premium add-on that you got somewhere else or had when you had membership active, there might be an important update to make it compatible in this environment. Even you might see that update available. You might see functionality still working properly, but there could be something really technical under the hood that add-on might need an update for 3.0. So.
And then just real quick before you continue, Kim, Webmaster is asking when the next minor update is due. That's a great question for when Jason jumps in, so we'll save that one for him. And then Rick is wondering.
Small pull requests that we found.
Yeah, we did have
testing, and there's one more coming. But so far, Jason and I were talking in the car about this. When are we going to, on what schedule? We're going to try to wait a week, unless an error comes up that's affecting every site and it's a really bad issue, or if it's affecting a small number of sites but resulting in like major issues with them being able to get paid, or it's deleting data or deleting files. Nothing like that has been reported so far. The small pull requests that have been done for 3.0 and the next minor version or point release. Does he call them point releases?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. 3.1 will be a minor version, and a point release will be like 3.0.1. We'll try to wait a week unless one of those two situations is met. All sites being affected, and it's devastating. Small number of sites, but very, very devastating. We don't have any of those yet, so we're waiting. David will breathe next week. No.
And then he'll pop the champagne and take a week off. And then Rip was curious, for those that did the testing with the release candidate, should they go ahead and update to the release version, and where should they do that? Should they do that within their WordPress site?
I would do that within WordPress, because the release candidates were like a lower plugin version. It should increment, and then I think there's logic to rerun the scripts, but also the blog post for 3.0 release has the logic to redo that. I think that the script is now smart enough, and maybe if David's in chat, to recognize if it needs to be rerun.
He just chimed in and said you may have to go to dashboard updates and click check again.
Okay. Oh, if it's not showing?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you might have to do that. But I think because we released the release candidates with a lower plugin version than what's out now, it should show up to update you for that.
Okay, and now you can go back to blocks.
All right, blocks. So default membership account page with the short code. I'm going to swap this to the block version. That doesn't work. Convert to blocks. We'll just convert this to a short code block with the same short code in it. That's not what we want to do. We want to insert the membership account block. And then there's kind of two. We use like color coding in our blocks to determine if they're like multi-use, like place this on a lot of pages, or like kind of a single use. So the green ones are used repeatedly wherever you want. I guess membership checkout button kind of is too. And then the blue ones are kind of like, this is just a page. You don't want to do too much with that. So some settings that came, now you'll see this one always had show these sections to choose which sections to show. I'll just toggle them all on. There are some new settings now to set colors of things within. So it kind of starting to bring some design flexibility to Paid Memberships Pro. So you could give this block a background. You can increase the size of padding. This is all just core WordPress block editor. The spacing of things within doesn't really adjust too much. Give it a border radius, give it a border color, adjust the colors of links within. And it should all be respected. I mean, here I'm going to make a liar out of myself, but I have to be on a block theme. Hold on, don't I? Don't think I have to. Themes. There. MemberLite has its own styling, so I'm just going to go back to 20. I thought I would stay in MemberLite, but MemberLite has its own styling for these things. So we want to do more. We want to give more design flexibility for designing these pages and creating these layouts, but you're getting the start of it. You're getting the ability to kind of set some colors and make some, control some things within, depending on what theme you're using. The membership account page in specific has all the sections also separate of the, I wonder if this will work, copy styles. And then you can also set like the title of it. So that looks really weird right now. Sorry about that. Okay. You can set a custom title for that section. So this was already in PMPro. I'll demo it now just so you can see the flexibility of that, like or membership levels, let's say, to kind of change what that heading is shown on the site, or leave it blank if you don't want anything shown there. We did this for accessibility so people could create the right headings hierarchy for their site so that you're going to pass accessibility tests. If your headings here are H1s and you need these headings to be H2s, that's how it's built by default. But if for some reason your theme had headings, page titles as H2s, you could remove that heading and add it in manually as a block above it to meet those requirements. I'll just put the default one back on here. Oh, that wasn't. Where is full? That's the one I want. Okay. So all of the core blocks that you need for your pages, your checkout page block, confirmation, the levels page block, but we're going to get fancy with that one, billing, invoice, and account page. You can do basic things. You can adjust like alignment of things and those background colors, link colors, adjust the font size, create some padding and some spacing with things. That's just basic block editor stuff. I'm going to show you what's new about the levels page. So again, this one is just using the short code. A new thing we've added is the ability to kind of build your levels layouts dynamically with blocks. So a lot of people want to use like create beautiful pricing tables. There's plugins out there that create pricing tables. This is called single membership level. And we could play around with it. It works kind of as a pattern for how the level should look. So if you look at the hierarchy here, the single membership level is kind of a group block, and within it, it has all these components of the level: the name of the level, the price, which will be dynamically updated, a button for checkout, the expiration information, and a description. So that's just a basic template for what that looks like. So let's choose a level, and it'll dynamically show this is for supporters. If I update supporters level later, that'll still be updated and in sync here. So we have a lot of tutorials that talk about, custom crafting your membership levels page just with your page builder of choice. And that's totally fine. This is nice because it stays in sync. If you change prices, if you adjust the description of your level, and change the name of the level, that will all stay in sync here. This level doesn't have an expiration or description. So if I updated, does this update? On the front end, you'll see that even though I see those in the pattern of that, it doesn't show it on the front end of the site itself. Because this is like kind of a button block, you can change the color of it with just the word. Well, that doesn't look good, but you could do that. And then you can change the text. I thought you could. Where is that? Oh, you just change it right here. Oh, become a supporter. Sorry, it used to be a block setting. Now it's just right in the thing. So you can change like the label of that. And then just like any other block, if you wanted to insert an image in here, you could. I don't have any image files in this one. This will be a weird image to put here. But you can put that all like within the block itself. You can adjust alignment of things to move stuff around. And then I'm going to show you how you can use this to really build your layouts. So with the block editor, I'm just going to duplicate this block, and I'm going to change this one to rather be my free level. Make this look a little different. Sure.
And we
then,
will keep
go ahead.
this video on YouTube, and then Kim will also be making more videos on these
Yes.
blocks too. So if you feel a little lost right now, it's okay. There's more coming, I promise.
Yes. So now I have 2 single level blocks. One is for my free, one is for my supporters level. And I selected both of them. I transformed it into columns, which is all WordPress block editor. There's loads of great tutorials out there. There's a creator named Poodle Press on YouTube who does a lot of block editor page designing tutorials. Maybe we'll get him to do some with our levels blocks, but more freedom's coming, more ideas, more designs possible with this. I'm just going to like play around a little more. Nope, that's not right. Let's say we want a pixel border. And then you can copy and paste styling between blocks. Oop, I didn't want that one to be. That was my bright red button, the important one. So it's still not like a beautiful pricing layout, but it's getting there, and it's showing you how you can use the block editor, keep information dynamically updated. We can go and change the supporters price to $35 a month. This gets automatically updated. So you might have been using our advanced level shortcode add-on. That still has a place and is very useful and has some features that won't be part of core. But this single level block is kind of the start of giving you more design flexibility for creating these layouts. This block, by default, it gets inserted with all those different fields. You can delete them or you can insert them again later. You could also, if you didn't want to use the single level block, you can just create your own checkout button outside of the single levels block. And that's just a checkout button you can use as a CTA anywhere in your site. You can put it in a footer widget. You can put it in your header menu, your header area of your theme. And put that button anywhere. And that button just creates a dynamic link right to the checkout page for that specific membership level. So that's the checkout button. It got overhauled. Before, it didn't really like have a preview and look like this. It had some settings in line. Now it's really deeper alignment with how the WordPress block editor is designed to be used and the preview experience that people want to see happening with sites that integrate with the block editor. So that's the levels page and single levels page. We talked about all the core built-in blocks. I'm going to talk about the content visibility block and the settings. Oh, people don't like this screen. Okay, so this is a page. If you wanted to protect this page in Paid Memberships Pro, you would locate the Require Membership meta box here or panel now and choose which levels can see that content. So non-members, in the way I have this set up, the content before the more the excerpt is visible if you don't have a membership level. And then if you have a membership level, you can see the full content on the page. I'll demonstrate that view without access now, just so we can see that if I didn't have access, this is what I would see, but I have a membership level. So I'll put that back to my levels. Okay. We've added in 3.0 the ability to put content visibility, what was formerly called the Require Membership block. So you might search for Require. It's still a keyword under the hood, but it's called the Content Visibility block. And it allows you to nest content within that has different visibility settings, maybe than the page itself. I'm going to unprotect this page just so we don't get any weird behavior right now. So it's a public page and we're putting a content visibility block. So I'm going to talk through what are the options within this block. So you'll see this panel, content visibility is enabled for this block. I can either show the content within it based on certain rules, or I can hide the content within it based on certain rules. We're going to do a real video about this one, but just to give you a taste, this block, we can show it to all members. So anyone that's logged in and has a membership level, to people in specific membership levels. So maybe only all those people in our kind of coaching realm of things, or anyone that's logged in. So whether they have a membership level or not, show that content. And then the same content access message you see on protected posts and pages when the person doesn't have access, you can optionally swap the content to show that no access message. So I'm going to say to show this content, to members only. And I'll just show how that's you can like put content above and below it that is and is not accessible. So this, all the content within, I can put a button here, you know, and build kind of the content out for people that can see and can access this based on those rules. We'll update this and just preview it. So what I should see is this is public, then I should see the no access message, and then below it, I should see this is public again. So I'm viewing without access. That's that view as member admin feature we added. So that's exactly what I said. This is that content within that block is hidden, but it's showing me the members only access message. Go back to my real membership, me with membership. I can see the content within it as well as the public messaging before and after. So that's the content visibility block. This same settings, the same panel for visibility is available for any core WordPress block also. So let's say you, why is that? I feel like that's strange. That's doing that. Okay. Let's put some stuff here. Okay. So let's say we just had that Zoom button. Put that there. Let me get rid of this one. Okay. Say we didn't want to use the content visibility block. We just wanted to put the buttons there and then control their visibility individually. You can enable the visibility setting just for that buttons block. It doesn't have to be wrapped in a nested block. And then the same logic applies. Show to specific levels, all members or just logged in users, as well as the inverse, hiding from members. So showing to anyone who is a user in the site or a non-member or just visiting the site but doesn't have a membership level, hiding from specific membership levels or anyone who's logged in. So then that's effectively like a logged out person or visitor to the site where you really want to do all those CTAs and show ads or sales or promotions of any kind so that your members aren't seeing it, only those logged in users. So this is like a pretty cool new feature. There's whole plugins that exist that just do block visibility. So it makes sense that PMPro has it built in. And it's all linked to the membership levels for the people in your site. So any questions about the content visibility block or the setting that's available on all of the core WordPress blocks?
Yeah, Greg has a question. Is there a way to default the show content option on the visibility block? We almost always want ours to show the show message.
I will look at the code. I don't know. Is that a filter? I wonder if it's even like a WordPress block setting filter you could do. You might be able to do it with core WordPress filters. But let me see if we have a filter. We probably don't.
David said there is not.
So maybe a WordPress filter, block settings filter. I know you can write custom code that changes the defaults of blocks when they're inserted. I'd have to dig around for that, but I think that it might be possible. I don't know. We can ask ChatGPT and try to see what that setting does. But yeah, for now, it's defaulting to not showing it, but it might be possible with a WordPress filter on inserting new blocks.
And then we have a feature request. Consider a teaser feature where the hidden content can be visible in a small amount, about 10 to 15% to entice users to subscribe.
So we kind of do that by default with our show excerpts to non-members.
And then we also have that code recipe of like fading the text.
Blurring.
Yeah.
I'll try to find that one too. I'm just trying to find this block filter.
I can look for the code recipe for fading the text.
Yeah, I bet one of these would work. Maybe this one, because that's setting a class name. Yeah, I start here. I think that would be where you go. It should allow you to filter and set the default. Yeah. All right. Did you find that article, Sam?
I did.
Or if you share more about what you mean.
I think the code recipe is what they
Okay.
were looking for, because they said they weren't aware of the recipe. So.
Oh, cool. Okay. Yeah. And I'll just revisit where those advanced settings are related to excerpts and non-members. It's under memberships, settings, advanced, and under content settings. Show excerpts to non-members. Yes or no? Yeah. All right. Is there anything else I want to talk about with our core blocks? The same content visibility settings are available to you if you're in the widgets area of a classic theme, or if you are using a full site editing theme and wanted to add something. For example, no, I want template parts, I think. If you wanted like a big CTA above your footer, let's say, and it was only for non-members. You can insert that in the site editor and set that same visibility, hide from members, and then only members would see that kind of strip across. You'll see that on a lot of sites. They'll have like a banner at the top of the site, or a banner, kind of a catch-all at the bottom. Use the content visibility block to play around with that and add like that one last CTA at the footer of your site. So that's if you're using a full site editing theme, or if your theme uses widgets, you'd be able to use those same settings within the widgets area to set up visibility. I'll show that in a classic theme. Widgets. The same visibility settings exist within like editing widgets. Cool. All right. I think that's all for blocks.
Off topic question.
Sure.
Robert is asking, when are you folks going to bring the print membership card so it prints a wallet size membership card?
There's an open PR to do that. You could experimental test it. Here, the better print sizing. It should be wallet size. I think I used the sizes I found online for what a card should be. So if you want to give this PR a test, otherwise it's in the queue. David's here. Maybe he'll, now that we're out 3.0 out the door, maybe it'll be the one that gets looked at next.
Yeah, 3.0 has been our main focus. So that I knew that we were working on membership card a little bit, but
we have more ideas for it. But yeah,
we do.
This should be the trick, and it worked for me when I did the PDF print and like measured it, held a card up at 100%. It seemed right for me. So give that a try.
Yeah, Greg, that is one of our ideas. Add to wallet
Oh,
for
yes.
mobile use. Yes,
Yeah.
that's one of our ideas. Um, and definitely in the way that the world is moving to be more on technology rather than a
Yes.
physical card. So
Nothing physical. Yeah.
yeah.
Nice. Okay, that's blocks.
Add-ons?
Now we're to talk about add-ons, and I'm going to pull up my list. Maybe I'll put it in chat. We talked a lot earlier about nav menus. I might start with that one just because there's a filter needed to prioritize which nav menu shows in the case that someone has more than one level at a time. So that always existed, but I know we were talking about how with classic themes can you swap menus to show for different levels. So let's do that one. Which screen do you see right now? Do you see my membership account, Sam?
Yes, membership account.
Okay. I just want to go get my license key.
You can always remove your screen if need be.
Okay. Okay. Memberships, add-ons. Maybe I should just install a few. We know we're going to do nav menus. We're going to do proration. We're going to do, someone wanted to see courses, which doesn't change, but still happy to do it. Lock membership level I was going to do. Maybe group counts, maybe not.
If we get to it.
Else. Donations and add-on packages, David said. Anyone using any of these? Recurring email add-on, David said, but it's not like something we can really show how that test works. But the recurring emails add-on is, it sends a reminder before the next recurring subscription is coming due. And with the subscriptions table, with that very tight gateway sync, it's a lot smarter how it works and how, when it sends that notice, the timing of it is a lot smarter, a lot tighter. So that got, I think it got like a major rewrite overhaul also. But
We have a
not one I
+1
can
for donations.
show you. Okay, good. Pay by check, yes. Okay, so let's start with nav menus. I'm going to set up the nav menu in this site just for something to have for default. So this is a classic theme. That's where nav menus add-on is useful. In the earlier stream, we demonstrated using the content visibility settings on a full site editing theme and adding the navigation block to the header, duplicating it, and creating an alternate menu option that's only shown in different cases based on that content visibility. So if you're using a full site editing theme, Nav Menu Add-on will not work for you. You'll need to do it with those visibility settings. All right, so I'm going to make a primary menu. I'm going to design this for people who are not yet members. And I don't have to add a login link, but I guess I can. Actually, do I want to use that one? I should maybe use this one. Use that one. Okay. The Paid Merchants Pro comes with a smart link that only shows if the person's not logged in. That's this login, so you're not going to see it here. I'm going to log out, or I'm going to switch users. I'll log out, and then we'll see how that really works. So I'm going to add a second menu just while I'm here, and I'm going to make it my members menu. I won't assign it to a location yet, and I'll make this one rather have our home page and our membership account page and a log out. I really wouldn't design a menu like this, but we have it, so we'll be able to play with it. Okay, so now we have two menus set up. One is going to be our public menu for not logged in, non-members, and then the other will be for our members that are active. So let's activate the Nav Menus add-on. Okay. And when you activate it, nothing changes immediately in the site. It just will create some things within your settings, within your menu settings. So if we go back to the area we were just editing menus from, we're now going to see some more locations. So before we only had primary, now we have primary for members, primary for logged in non-members, and it just duplicates all of those. So I'm going to say that this primary members menu should be shown to this location. And now when we visit this, we're going to see that second menu we created, the one with the membership account and then the logout link, because these people are already logged in. I already have a membership level. It's show me the stuff that I can see, right? Let's see if view without access works here to swap it back. Okay, now you're seeing if I swap to view my site as someone without access, I don't have a membership level. So it switches that menu for me and shows me the one that the public would see, that people without memberships would see. Why this is curious for MMPU, and I'll pull up the settings, but you can also create menus per membership level. So I could say, I would like supporters to have a unique menu, and that's part of the level settings. So you're going to edit the level and then say, check this if you want to create a unique navigation menu for this level. I'm going to do the same for this coaching tier. Perfect. Now, in an MMPU environment, someone might have both of those levels. Someone might be both a supporter and the coaching tier, which is what I'm logged into currently. Which menu should you show in that case? If I created a custom menu for supporters and a custom menu for 3 hours coaching, which should Kim see when I log into the site? It doesn't try to mix the menu items together. It will select, I think, the latest membership that they've held. It might also select a random one. So the Nav Menus add-on has a way to prioritize the levels and choose which one is the most important menu to show. So it is via a custom code and a filter. So if you decide to create custom menus so granularly down to the individual level, check out this code recipe. Make sure that you're prioritizing which membership levels menu shows before others. Let's say like the one that really matters is the supporter one, not this coaching custom menu. So you would use that filter to prioritize and put the supporters level ID earlier in this filter. I won't demonstrate how to use it, but it just kind of hand waved through what does MMPU multiple memberships compatibility in 3.0 look like when you're doing custom nav menus per level, not just at the membership, zoomed out at just memberships. So that's Nav Menus add-on. Any questions about how I've set up menus or customizing things with Nav Menus?
Can you just drop us the link in chat to that, that code recipe there?
Yep. There.
Thank you.
Yeah, if you have 12 levels, it's going to show all levels on the card. I don't know if there's a way to filter that. See that from Sure Resource?
Yeah, I was gonna mention that just because we are short on time before Jason comes up, that
oh yeah, I have a lot of add-ons to show.
You have a lot of add-ons to show that we were not going to debug that specific issue just because membership card didn't really change too much other than the fact that it'll pull all the levels if you have more than one level.
There's a function. Let's see. I'll just really quick. Okay.
I was going to send them to our support friends.
There's a filter for MMPU. So this is the filter you'd use, PMPro membership card MMPU output, and you could strip out certain levels from that list if they're found, like by level ID. That would be a good one to write a snippet for, Sam, if we want to do like a submit through P2, an idea. I don't know if we have an example of that anywhere. Nope. Someone must have written one. No, not yet. That's the, that would be how you would reduce how much shows on that. Maybe we could even add level groups as an option here. But that would work. There's a workaround.
They only have one level paid for, but the card shows all 12. This is just not the with this
Oh,
because
okay.
it's not an Ask Me Anything. This is just not the
Okay.
live stream for us to dive into that right now.
Yep, said no. I won't. Okay, but we'll test it.
But if you reach
Test
out to
it.
contact or our support, we
Yes.
will still help you. Just with
Yeah.
this live stream, we want to stay focused to 3.0 specific.
All right, so let's deactivate nav menus and we'll show pay by check add-on. We talked a little about this earlier. Also, part of the 3.0 update is that you get this new custom label for what formerly was like this manual pay by check gateway. You can rename it to something you would like it to be. So you can call it make a manual payment or offline payment and offer some methods for the person to pay that way. So that's the pay by check manual payment built into Paid Memberships Pro. But with the pay by check add-on, you can offer check payment as an option at your checkout experience. So I have the add-on active. I don't think there's general settings, are there? Let's look. No, I think it's just on the levels. Okay, so I can edit my membership level and say whether pay by check is allowed or not allowed. This isn't really MMPU related, but it is related to improvements made to these two add-ons to work for 3.0. So I can edit my membership level and decide whether I want to allow offline payment or not. And I can let people choose, or I can say they have to use the offline payment, which for very high ticket memberships is probably a smart thing to do because credit cards don't really love like brand new customer, charge them thousands and thousands of dollars. But I'm going to say that this one is an option to choose between the two. So if I go to the checkout page for this level now, I'll see the option to choose if it's a credit card payment, which is the Stripe gateway we have set up here for testing, or the offline payment method that people can opt for. And then it gives them the description that I've entered of ways that payment can be made. So pay by check is updated to support that custom label here on the front end of the site, and then also some places in the admin for you. So that's the pay by check add-on and what was changed for MMPU and or for 3.0 to work with that. So we're working on how we like market this because it really is like manual payments for people that accept bank transfer or wire transfer or things like that. Most people aren't mailing checks anymore. Even some countries like don't allow checks anymore, we've heard. So we're trying to repurpose that add-on and repurpose that feature. All right, that's pay by check. I'll show lock membership level, how that was updated for 3.0. So lock membership level is kind of an influx add-on. It has features to lock someone from canceling or changing their membership for either a certain period of time, indefinitely, at the level. So you can have a membership that's $25 per month, but you can lock it for the first year. That means people can't cancel on their own through your site that membership level until they've made 12 payments, until they've completed 1 year of access for you. So let me show how that works. Here. Oh, it's its own section. Okay. So you can say, check to lock users from canceling or changing levels when they get this level. So this level that we're editing now is in our 1 per group. So that means people who have supporters, if I never unlock them, that means they can never change back to free. They can never change if we added another level in this group. They couldn't change, or we could set it for that specific time period, like I said, like for 12 months. So that only applies when the person checks out for the newly for the membership. It wouldn't retroactively apply to people that already exist and have this membership level. So that's locking settings. It's per level. I can also edit the member specifically and add some lock for them. So there's a new panel here on this edit member screen we were showcasing a lot earlier. We talked about some add-ons that add panels to this screen. Lock membership level is one of them. I can add a lock here and say I want to lock all level changes or just specific levels that they have for a specific till a specific date. It doesn't work the same way as the levels because now we actually know when this person signed up and more details about them. So I can add a lock for everything. Don't let them unlock or change any levels. And then that just assigns this to the user. If they're on the front end of the site, they can't cancel their membership. They can't go and purchase a different one. They can't change a level within a group or add on an additional membership level. It was kind of designed to combat people canceling early when they had installments to pay, because some sites do really need to collect, a certain amount of money kind of pays off something related to membership. Maybe it's like a community and it has some kind of like educational aspect, and you mail them a physical textbook or you give them a credit to join some third party thing that costs you money. So you can lock them for a period of time to make sure that at least through the interface of your site, they aren't able to make changes to their membership. Doesn't mean that they can't issue a chargeback, tell their bank to deny payments to you, or if it's PayPal, cancel their subscription within their own PayPal account. But it is some protection for you within your site. And then the same is true if you had a bad actor who signed up to your site and got a refund and then came back and took some stuff, got another refund. We do this at PMPro. We use membership locking to make people stay at the free level and just have a message. I'll show the message when they are locked that they have to contact us. So there's a membership locked page that redirects people when they try to go make those changes to the site, to their membership. Let me see. Okay, I have a lock, so I shouldn't be able to. I don't know, as admin, sometimes as admin, you can do special things that you shouldn't be allowed to do. Your membership levels are locked. So if I go to purchase a level, or if I try to get to like the checkout page, it's going to always boot me back to this locked screen. And you can filter this message or just add additional content to the page itself. That's, why are you locked, and help people understand. Contact us and we'll discuss what's going on here and why we've locked your access to the site. So that's the locking changes. Before, multiple memberships were part of Core Paid Memberships Pro. It was just like an all or none. No changes. Now you can do it level specific. So I could hold 3 different membership levels. There might be a lock on one of them, but my other 2 are flexible and I can change them. I can change levels or I can add different levels. It doesn't affect my entire purchases with your site. It's just for that one specific level that you maybe need them to, maybe you don't want them in it anymore. They were in your community and you don't want them part of the community. They did something, but they can still buy one-time payment things, or because they haven't reached the number of installments that you want them to reach as part of their initial sign-on. And then once they've passed that point, they can, self-serve, keep their membership, or determine if they want to cancel it and take that action themselves. Okay, that's lock membership level. I'll do proration is a pretty cool one. So let's add that. Okay. Proration, it's always like a little bit of a thorn in our sides of how proration works. Oh, I have my levels page all funny. Let me put it back from my earlier demos. But it was a lot of conversations to get proration compatible with multiple memberships. And what did that really look like? So the way we've decided is that if membership levels are in one level per group, that tiered membership access, you never hold more than 1 in the same group, we'll prorate within that group. Otherwise, we're not prorating. So these levels in this one-off coaching plans, they are not prorated. And they won't prorate within. If I was on 3 hours coaching and I decided to add 3 hours team coaching 5 people, that's just an additional membership level that I get. It doesn't do anything to affect the 3 hours coaching level. It doesn't cancel it, and it won't prorate within it. It's just another thing that I'm buying. But then within the primary group, where I can switch levels and move up and down the tier, it tries to prorate and calculate based on your next payment date and maintaining that. So to demonstrate how this works, I'm going to add another monthly level within this, and I'm going to call it Premium Supporters. And I'll just make this one for easy math, only get $100 per month, let's say. Okay. So I'm already a member of supporters. I'll confirm that I am. Yep, I'm paying $12.50 because we did that subscription update thing. Let's cancel this. I'm going to go through a checkout for the $25 per month membership, and then I'm going to upgrade to the $100 per month and show you how proration in an MMPU setup will work. It should charge me $75. If it was on another day, it would keep my day of renewal date and just charge me a prorated amount to get up till that point. Stripe API. Okay. Now I'm going to be like, I'm loving this stuff. I want more. I want to go up to premium supporters tier. So it's going to prorate my membership. The price is $75 now and then $100 per month. So it's prorating what I've already paid for this month because it's the same day. It doesn't have to do too fancy of math down to pennies. But we'll do this and then I'll show how the downgrades work. That's the biggest fun thing. Right, David? Right, Sam? API, Stripe API. Okay. So now I've upgraded to the premium supporters tier. I'm paying you $100 per month. It billed me the difference, $75. So now what if a few days go by and I'm like, I'm not really liking this. I want to downgrade. Proration can't give people money back. So I've already paid you for a full month of my $100 per month premium supporters tier. So Paid Memberships Pro 3.0 with the proration update now has something called delayed downgrades, which is saying let them hold that tier they've paid for till the end of the term and then begin their supporter membership, begin their lower tier membership after that point. So I'm going to downgrade myself as a user by checking out for supporters. You'll see the messaging and then we'll look in the admin what that looks like. So we're changing one more time. If anyone does this in your site, changes this much, you're going to be like, hey, we need to have a phone call. I don't think you know what you're doing here. All right. So it's going to charge me $0. You've selected the supporters membership level. Your current level will be removed. That's not quite true. It's going to delay the downgrade. Right, David? We'll see. So $0 now. Does anyone know who David is? Because I keep talking about him. Is he in the chat?
He was in the chat a little bit earlier. I
Okay.
don't know if he's
and then $25
still around.
per month. So let's see if this works. They just pushed this one out. I wondered if it should say the date. It might not say it at checkout, but it might say it on the confirmation page. We'll see. Or we'll improve it once more. That's in our abilities to do. Okay. So here you see that message was maybe a little unclear. Here on the checkout page, it's more clear. I was not billed because I've already paid too much money to be a supporter. But I'm still premium supporters level and it's going to downgrade me on my next payment date on the 25th. On the membership account page, the same is true. It shows what am I paying for premium supporter for my membership and when is the downgrade happening? April 25th. So this is that delayed downgrade, keeping their access tier for what they've prepaid you for until the end of the period and then officially downgrading them. It's a big advancement for sites that have people changing levels and downgrading like this. Otherwise, it's a conversation like, well, you owe me $75 back. And you're like, no, you prepaid that. That we're going to give you this membership access and your membership hasn't changed. All of your access is still the premium supporters tier through the end of that term. And then you'll be downgraded. That's more how we see it happening with other subscription services that I'm a part of, that it delays that. So how does this look as the admin of the site? If I go into the edit member screen for this user, I can see that the level is still premium supporters, that they're downgrading on April 25th. And I think I also get a delayed downgrades panel. Yes. Oh, got some word wrap issues here. I meant to fix that, David. We didn't get to it.
David is in the chat and he said the wording does need some work. And Kim White is encouraging David to actually show his face and not just be behind the keyboard. No pressure, David, though.
Where did I put
You don't have to.
Oh, text wrap, no wrap. Okay. So now if I'm on the memberships panel here, showed me that there's this delayed downgrade. I also have this delayed downgrades view. What's all going on for this user? If they had other levels that they played around, say I have other membership tier groups, they could have like many delayed downgrades. I hope that doesn't happen to people in the site, but it'll just show you what's changing. They're moving from my highest tier recurring membership premium supporters down to supporters on the date that their renewal would have taken place. And I can see the order that was the $0 order for this. It only happens when there's $0 orders. I don't think there's ever a delayed downgrade in the case that they pay you money at checkout. Shouldn't be. And then the same is true on your members list. And when you export it, you're going to see what those changes look like with these delayed downgrades. So that's how proration changed in for 3.0. You can see this supporters level. That was like an old one. Oh, that's someone else. You'll see me multiple times in this list because I have multiple levels. There, that's a little more clear. So it just shows when are they downgrading and on what date. Any questions about proration and delayed downgrades?
I'm not seeing any.
It only does it within those one level per groups. Just to revisit that, your level groups can either be that users can choose one level per group, which is a level gets removed when a new one gets added. You can only hold one, or these a la carte groups. No proration within these a la carte, multiple level groups, proration within level groups that have changing tiers. And if I had another group that was one per, it wouldn't prorate between both of them. It would only prorate between levels in secondary and levels in primary separately. It wouldn't prorate between the two, even though they're both one level per group. They don't affect one another, so they don't prorate within. I don't know how we're going to write those docs. Maybe we can take transcripts of some of this, Sam, and then like have ChatGPT help us. All right, did. I'm nervous to do donations because I didn't ever test it, but we're told that there's 3.0 things, so I'll try it. Donations is a la carte field at checkout, or you can have donation only levels that don't affect the current user's membership level and allow them to make like a one-time donation. So let me read. I'm going to read me quick of what changed for 2.0. All right. Donation levels can now have a donation confirmation message. Cool. Donation. Oh, okay. So now we know the amount that was on the donation. That was a long requested thing. New panel for donation settings. Added a donation amounts no longer stored in order notes. Perfect. Okay. I think David said it had something to do with the next payment date calculation still correct, even if they purchase. Okay. So before it was like screwing up their next payment date. So let's edit our supporters level. And we'll add donation settings. We're going to say that this is not a donation only level, but we'll let people donate between $10 and $100. We'll do that. Any extra help text or extra confirmation text we don't need. Okay. Let's see this. Make a gift. So I guess it used to change. It used to affect their next payment date because it would look for the order. If I came back later and got a donation only level, it would make my next payment date confused. But now with subs table, the next payment date looks to the single subscription for the level I'm worried about in that moment. So I think that's the fixes David was talking about, that with subscriptions table, with that really tight sync with the gateway, the next payment date is always going to be relative to the subscription we're thinking about, not some calculation we do based on the last order that your user ID had. So that seems like the big thing. And then some of the other cool stuff that was added with 2.0, the messaging customization. And it seems like better logic with how it alters the price if you're using Apple Pay or Google Pay or other payment request buttons in the site. That donations just works a lot more cleanly. And that's stored in order meta. We can see how that looks. People used to say, like, how do I know how much of their membership payment was the donation, I need to be able to report on that for taxes. So I don't know that we've added the reporting yet in our dashboard to show the donations as like a separate data point, but it's now stored separately from the order, subtotal, and total. So it's in a place that we can really, you can build those custom reports more easily now. It used to just be, oh, it's, this $35. Don't you know it's $25 and the donation amount must have been $10. Now we have it stored uniquely here as a field where it used to say something like this just in notes. So now it's in order meta, which is great. And we can build some reports for that. I don't think we have it on the order screen as its own column. No. Okay, that's donations. Questions about donations?
Not a question about donations, but I don't know if we touched on this in the first session, but on the edit member screen, can you just go over how an admin could go in and downgrade somebody and refund them?
Sure. So
Like
if I
a
wanted
user's
to,
upset and reaches out to you.
yeah, if this person didn't want to be supporters anymore, I wanted to make them free, I would click change membership and I would give them the new membership level of free, and I would refund the last payment and cancel their payment subscription. So now they're free. The subscription gets canceled. This one is canceled and the order is refunded at the gateway. And you can confirm that by going into Stripe, looking up that subscription ID or the order number in your Stripe. You would reference it. It puts an order note that the refund was processed, and you would look for this charge in Stripe or whichever payment gateway you have to confirm that the refund was processed. So if you're canceling membership and not giving them a different one, you could do that too. You would just do this as cancel, and those additional options would show up if they were available to you. They're not options here. Cancel, refund, and cancel subscription is what you'd see then. That's taking away all membership within that level group.
Okay, and then Rip's follow-up question was, oops, would you be refunding their gift?
Yes, you'd refund all of it. Yep.
Or is it possible to choose what to refund?
And you can't do partial refunds in PMPro. We only support full refunds, but at the gateway side, you could. It would probably report back that the order was refunded. You could do, if you did partial, like $25 at Stripe, let's say, and keep the 10, I think it would get screwed up because on your site, it would still show as the order was refunded. So if you wanted your data on your site to be kind of true, I'd say rather let that process that partial refund at the gateway. Your order is going to look like this, but then you could manually come back in and just change your order to a $10 success, which is kind of kludgy and weird, but would still make your reporting accurate. If they wanted their membership refunded, but they said you can keep my $10 donation, you'd have to change that, hack your order data so that it was correct. Or you could, I guess, add a separate order for the $10 charge and change this one to 25 and mark it refunded. If you were watching refund rate, we have a custom report on our site to watch our refund rate. So yeah, a little kludgy, but yeah, because we don't do partial refunds right now. I don't think we plan to.
Probably not. What's our next add-on?
We can do the course is what I'm happy to demonstrate. It just, there's really nothing unique about MMP. We could set it up the way we were talking about doing, Sam, which was like a membership level that gets a bunch of access. And then
yeah, and I did look at my I looked at my notes from reaching out to third-party plugins that integrate with us, and LearnDash did not get back to me on that. So I am not 100% certain on their development with multiple memberships per level or per user.
Yeah, this is the LearnDash authored integration for PMPro. If you're already using it and it's working for you, just keep using it, I think. But it's not, we're not big fans of this integration and the way that it handles enrollment and access. Rather, our PMPro courses I don't put much stock in LearnDash continuing to keep up with that one either, just because they're also creating this like member dash thing, which is their answer to membership plugin and membership functionality. So if development wise, I see their path, diverging from supporting Pay Memberships Pro very tightly. Now I could be wrong, and maybe I'm a liar. We'll see. But the built-in LearnDash support in our integration is where I would go. And we know this one is going to be compatible.
I don't think it's on that page anymore.
It's
Yeah,
linked to.
you linked out.
So you would use LearnDash, and then you would use the courses for membership add-on to protect course access for LearnDash. I'm going to set up, all right, back to dogs, puppy. I need another fake course name, guys. Shout them out. 1 year of access to puppy training. I'll do homemade dog food course because that's what my life is right now. All right, and we'll do another one. Senior dog care, also my life right now. Okay, so we created
I guess she is a senior, isn't she?
She is a senior. So now we have these like 3 a la carte course options that people can buy. And I'm going to set up a fake course for each of these. And then I'll show how in a multiple memberships environment, you can, let me delete this group. We got a lot of garbage here. All right, get rid of coaching plans, go away. We have our 3 courses, and then we're going to say that we'll call this, we'll make this monthly membership, and we'll say all courses. I did something weird. Access. Okay. This is the idea that in a multiple memberships environment, now with Core Pay Memberships Pro, totally open source, totally free tools, you could sell a bulk of courses, a library of course access on a recurring membership, and still sell them a la carte if people are like, I don't know if I want all of your courses. I just want this one. I don't have a puppy. I don't make homemade dog food. I just have a senior dog. I just want one. So you could bundle your courses in a membership that's a recurring subscription, and then you could also sell them a la carte in that separate level group. So this will be our all course access. What are we selling? $25 a month sounds fine. Sure. Okay, so now I did a weird thing. We have like a multi-course bundle, and then we have our a la cartes. Let's create those courses real quick. I'm going to save permalinks because I think we try to flush them, but when we install a new add-on that adds custom URLs, it's good to do that. So what did I have? Puppy training. Now with this single course, I can go into my required membership and I can say it's included in people who have puppy training or people who have all courses access. And I can do the same for our homemade dog food course. If anyone needs a dog food recipe, hit me up. Or don't. All right. Do I have to make them all? Why not? We have 22 minutes. What was it called? Senior? Dog care. Sure. Something like that, right? Yes. Senior dog care and all course access. Okay. So now we have our 3 courses set up. And it says this content is for senior dog care and all courses access members only. It'll take us back to our membership levels page where people can buy the all course access or they can buy an individual course. So let's just buy this senior dog care membership. And now it doesn't show anything because I'm in the course, but it doesn't show that protected content message like these other ones do. So with the multiple memberships environment, you can do that. You can do those bundles or you can do the a la cartes. So more ways for people to get into your Nexus, get into your membership with smaller effort, less like expensive of an ask, let's say. Probably not the way I priced it, $25 per month for all of them. I'd want to lock their membership and make sure they reached a certain number of payments before. But, doggy grooming. Thank you. Puppies Plus. I love these ideas.
I wish dog training was $25 a month.
Yeah. Doggy grooming. I am not that good at that. We have one dog that lets us trim her nails and the other that I have to take to a place. Whatever, All right, so that's courses. Someone asked about Tutor LMS. The same require membership box that we use to choose those tiers on these individual, that would exist in your Tutor LMS course also, just their interface, but this same require membership. So you could do the same thing. You could sell those bundles or you could sell single courses with Tutor LMS. The same would be true. Our courses integration has integration for Lifter LMS, LearnDash, Sensei LMS, and Tutor LMS.
And Tutor LMS is one that did get back to me and said that they were at least working on it, or it was going to be worked on. Sensei, I haven't heard back from Sensei. I haven't heard back from LearnDash, and then I would assume Lifter
I'll confirm. Yes,
is 100%.
Yep, that one's good to go. So that's courses. We can do group accounts just to see how that interface looks. Group accounts is how you can sell a bulk number of memberships to like a team, a corporation, a family, a school, where there's one parent account that holds the membership and makes the payments, and then other child accounts within who can claim membership and be linked to that parent account and kind of managed through them. So if the parent cancels, all of the child accounts also cancel. So this has been updated for 3.0 to add a panel to the edit member screen. So it just helps you as admin identify where these where these teams are at. Let's add it to this 3 hours team coaching for 5 people tier. Group account settings. Group accounts allow a member to purchase a block of memberships at once. So we'll say that these people get the 3 hours coaching tier and they get 5 seats, we said. And I'm just going to say group pricing is built into the membership level. To set this up, there's also a custom page you have to generate. That is where the user themselves will manage the people in their group. Didn't I already buy this? Maybe I can buy it again.
My dog did get loud. I'm sorry, guys.
I don't hear him. All right, so this is me checking out to be the parent of the group, and I'm going to get the key that allows people to sign up for accounts within my group. Users can join your group by using this code at checkout, 0 of 5 seats claimed. As the user who purchased it, I wouldn't see this. That's because I'm an admin. But I can see who's a member. I can get my code, and I can also cycle my code in case I'm worried it was compromised, or I want to remove everyone from the group and invite a new group of 5 people in to signups and just give them a fresh sign-up experience. How this looks in the admin of the site, back to that edit member, that hub, that key place where you can see everything about this user, adds a new group accounts tab to let me see what groups is this person the administrator of. I can get over to their manage group page. I can get the direct link for their children accounts to signing up, just kind of see who's a part of this. And then if this person had claimed a membership for someone else's group, I would see that they're a member of someone else's group in this list. So that's how group accounts was updated for 3.0. It adds this panel. Otherwise, pretty much the same functionality that it had before, just moving everything of our add-ons into this screen. So you have that one hub, that CRM, everything I know about this user in one place, no hunting around for stuff. You'll just continue to see add-ons move their features, move their settings panels here so that all of that information is right at hand.
Perfect. Is that the last of our add-ons?
That was the last. We could add-on packages. I don't think it's much different. Let me look at the
add-on packages is one now where we would rather you not use add-on packages.
Level. Yeah.
And get a level. Yeah.
It was originally designed so that you could have like buy one-off access to things. But with multiple memberships built into 3.0, you're much better off setting up that multiple levels group and making that kind of the catch-all for all the unique things you want to sell. PMPro Pro is not a shopping cart. It's not going to have like all the tools that if you had a real e-commerce with a shopping cart with, I won't say it's not real e-commerce. PMPro Pro is very much real e-commerce. But if you really needed a shopping cart experience where people are adding different things, you're selling physical goods, you're selling memberships and accesses, you're selling downloads, you're selling all kinds of different things, you're better off looking for a tool like Shopify, a plugin like WooCommerce, if you really want that shopping cart thing. But with multiple memberships, you can sell those one-off things and just deliver them in any way that you can. So we're using it PMPro Pro. We have our membership tiers for free, standard, and plus membership. And then we also have a separate group now where we can sell one-off courses. So we're experimenting with that. Reportica, thank you. You got our course. We're excited. I feel like I remember you being a part of it initially when we did it, but maybe not because you've been such a long time part of our community. So shout out to you and anyone else that wants to check that out. It comes up as a pop-up on our site, and maybe Sam will drop a link in too.
I will, when we're done with today, I will turn the pop-up back on. I did turn it off because it was overlapping with today's events, but
yeah.
I will turn that pop-up back on. And yes, we got our first official checkout since launching it. So that was exciting. So Rip has a need for a suggestion from you.
Okay.
Migration suggestion for a V2 site with 4 membership levels plus those same 4 levels with an annual $10 add-on, 8 total levels on this 2.0 SW site. Is there a way to migrate this to the 3.0 SW?
Yeah, so the annual plans with that add-on $10 thing, all 8 of those levels could be part of a 1 per group. And you shouldn't have any issue. If you really wanted to move things where that $10 thing was a separate purchase and have good reporting, that's really the main reason why having it as a separate level is useful, because you can get a digest of all the people who've just bought that one thing. I can see, I know there are none. Wait, what did we buy? We bought senior. So if the levels are distinct and it's not just like a price adjusting field at checkout or kind of an add-on thing that's tacked onto an additional level, then you get that reporting. You can see all the people who bought that, which is nice to do. So I don't know what's stopping you from upgrading and having all of those 8 levels in the same group and keeping it as is. Totally doable. I mean, you could have done it with payment plans probably rather than separate levels. That might also have muddied up the I think someone asked about this on the earlier stream and we did not get back to them, but they asked, how could I have a level that has like the same access, but people can pay me either monthly or annually? That's this payment plans add-on. Yeah, but I think it would work. And if you did want to pull out that $10 thing, it would just be a separate checkout for people to buy, and you would put it in a multiple levels group, that $10 add-on thing. Did I understand it right? Does it sound like that would work?
The only thing Rip added was it's a dog member with $10 breeder add-on.
Maybe it's okay the way you have it as a separate level, because you do still get the filter, because you can see all the people who are just dog breeder or dog member and all the people that are dog member with
so breeder. They can list their breeder info.
Yeah, and that would just, because it's a separate level, you can do that with user fields just for that level and add the breeder info to that. There's probably a directory aspect to this too. Maybe. I think we talked about one of these sites, Rip, once in DMs. Should be able to upgrade it though.
He said we'll keep all 8 things.
Yeah. Yeah, staging site, upgrade it, see what happens. But I think keeping all 8 would work. And you can do some things with like what levels are shown on the levels page, and then at the checkout, maybe in the description say like, do you want to add your breeder info? Click here. And it kind of reduces the decision making at the pricing page and kind of offloads it to the checkout experience to let them switch and add that. I've seen people do that. All right, we have 10 minutes. 10 minutes of questions, and we're going to get Jason on unless he wants to come early.
I haven't heard from him, so.
Oh, I hope he's coming.
I mean, I sent him the link. He can join anytime.
There you go.
I just don't know if he's listening to us or not.
I'm checking the...
Who would want to do that? If you have questions related to 3.0, shout them out. Other than that, we're just going to chit-chat and wait for Jason.
No. All right, what else can we show? There was one thing I didn't talk about earlier, and it's coming to me now, is a prefixed checkout parameter. So you'll see this used to be just level equals 2, and that still works. So if you've built custom links to buy your membership from an email series, or that you've pasted in social conversations, or you have it as part of some other direct flow with those checkout links, the unprefixed level parameter at checkout still will work, but we made the decision to prefix that with PMPro _level because there's occasionally times where that unprefixed parameter in the URL would cause a conflict, specifically with like a gamification plugin that also uses the parameter level. So we just wanted, now that we're prefixing this, it's just much safer. We know that it's not going to conflict with any other custom plugins or third-party plugins people are using. So 3.0 prefixed both that attribute and also the discount code, which I don't even have a discount code created, but let's make one. So you'll see the checkout URL, PMPro _level, and then PMPro _discount code formally. And what still will work is if it's not prefixed. You can see the URL, right, guys? So it's not a major change, and we're still supporting, and we will support for a while, the unprefixed versions. If they're working in your site, there's no reason to change your links anywhere, but it's just a way to make PMPro Pro even harder for the future, hardening it, not harder to use, so that we can help people avoid those conflicts, because it's a pretty nasty conflict. You activate PMPro Pro, you go to your checkout page, and it's like redirects away, or it throws a fatal error. The experience is really poor. So where we can make updates that don't affect too much, we're trying to do those. We have some ideas to even make rather than make them look like URL attributes, making it look like something like this. That doesn't work yet, but more like a beautiful URL, a pretty URL. That didn't get into 3.0, but it's work that was started and is being considered to do, so that the URLs don't have parameters with URL attributes, that they're really clean, and that way Google will index each page as if it's a unique page in your site. So it kind of opens the door to make custom checkout pages per membership level when we get there, and also that each page will be indexed as a unique URL of your site, even though it is kind of secretly not. It'll still get indexed that way for each of your levels.
We do have some questions now.
Okay, good. I'm ready.
Is there any way to change default labels? They refer to students, not members, and courses, not levels, amongst others.
Yeah, we have right now. It's custom code. There's a recipe, and it's just a snippet. Why don't I find it?
I don't remember
I
what it
should
was
search
called.
for something more specific than subscription. Change wording subscription, something like that. Here it is. We can put this on the site and test it. I don't have code snippets on this though. It's not per level, so you kind of, the way the snippet is working now, it's for all everywhere in the site. You'd have to customize it if you wanted it like based on where it's showing up. But this by default, it's just going to change membership to subscription. Let's see how it works out of the box. So that changes it. It doesn't change it in the titles of the page. You can do that just within WordPress. You have selected the supporter subscription. This used to say membership. Use a different account for this subscription. And then on the account page also, it changes my memberships to my subscriptions. Level here would be a separate one if you wanted that to be called course or whatever you would want it to be called. You can adjust that. And then
you can adjust
manually. Oh, go ahead. Yeah,
you can adjust the code to say anything. It doesn't have to be subscription.
Yeah, it can be student. I don't know. That doesn't really make sense, but you could do that. And then the emails you'd edit manually also, it doesn't filter the emails. So, but they're all available for you to edit both the subject line of your emails and the body of it. So your confirmation, subscription confirmation, or your sign up confirmation, whatever you wanted that to say. Thank you for your sign up at site name. And you can manually change all of that that wouldn't require the snippet to change in those locations.
Another question. Dio Daniel, I had some payment issues with Paystack Payment Gateway, and I contacted them and they promised to work an upgrade. I'd like to know if this upgrade is applicable to payment gateway issues too.
We did already update our Paystack for 3.0 earlier this year, so that should be pushed out already. If you can submit to the contact form like what your issue was, if it was recent, but this is now updated for 3.0, so it should be much better in sync, just like all of our gateways have improved. Just the reliability and the checkout experience and the tightness in how they sync together. So Paystack did get that update. But if you reach out on the contact form or in our community Slack with what you're specifically seeing, I know Andrew's on our team that leads up that has direct communication with the Paystack team. And we're committed to making this the payments gateway option for all of Africa.
Yeah. Two more quick things, and then Jason is in the studio now, so I can add him to the stream. In my website, non-login message is not working. They are a Plus member.
Non-login message.
As a Plus member, my recommendation would be to reach out to our support team, just because they can do a lot more digging than we can here.
Logged in non-members. Yeah, if you edit it here is what it should show on the page, unless you have issues with caching. If you're caching for certain cache, well, this is for logged in. Yeah, we recommend disabling caching for logged in users of the site so that message can be unique for each one. Just maybe if you don't know if you have custom code in place that's filtering that message, or maybe your theme author has customized it. Some themes do have PMPro Pro support, and you might get notices that things are not working with 3.0 or have to be relooked at. So we're trying to get in touch with theme authors, but it's possible your theme is also filtering that message and changing it. But I'd look at caching and I'd look at any custom code and also ask in support.
Yeah, and then, okay, the last question I'm actually going to bring Jason in because it might lead into his future of PMPro talk. I'm not 100% sure, but hi, Jason.
Hey.
You're back with us.
I'm excited. How are you guys doing?
we're doing good. I think
More coffee.
this-
No.
Yeah. I meant to make some. I have tea. Tea's close. Tea has caffeine, right?
It does have, yeah. Before Jason, you dive in to your stuff. My developer wanted to use WooCommerce and Fusion to create memberships and for a more modern checkout process than PMPro 2.0. Did PMPro 3.0 get a modern checkout look similar to WooCommerce?
The short answer for that is that PMPro 3.0 doesn't make any changes to the checkout process. Unless you're using multiple memberships per user, I guess you could consider that. But we know this is important, and it's something that we're going to be focused on. Is it PMPro 3.1 or PMPro 4.0? But it's kind of next thing in target for us to update the front end admin. So 3.0 focused a lot on updating the back end admin, and next step, we have some ideas for the front end checkout. Now, I'm pretty sure we have a blog post on like editing the checkout experience. Like depending on the skill of your developer, you can go a long, long way with like a few CSS tweaks to make it look like your theme.
I think we have a pretty beautiful checkout, and we don't have a custom template on our checkout page. It's primarily CSS like Memberlight and a few hooks. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you don't already have a site, like use our theme, Memberlight, start with that. And that's going to make sure that like it looks as good as possible. That's the theme that we use, and we made sure it looks good. Like one of the, it's interesting, we've updated the checkout a few times, but we originally built it, over 10 years ago, over 15 years ago or so, right? Like, and sometime in 2012, it was like this novel idea, like, hey, let's like, our checkout was state of the art. What used to be multi-step was all on one page, and it was as fast as possible. And that was like the focus of, the Pay Memberships Pro checkout that we launched with. And the other thing that we thought about was at that time, the idea was, hey, like, don't step on your theme. Like, let your theme, we want the checkout to look like your theme. You used to buy a theme because it looked a certain way, and the themes were more strongly opinionated than they are now. Now themes are builders, and it's like, let you do whatever you want. And the core styling of the theme is not that flashy, not that good looking, and probably isn't motivated to try to look good for Pay Memberships Pro. It takes a little bit of work, and we try to work with the themes, as Kim said, to get them for their default settings. So now flash forward to this time, it's a little different. We're like, hey, we're going to take this into our own hands. We're going to style the theme the way that we think. Yeah, we're going to make the theme look good. And what we want it to be flipped. We want the theme, the checkout to look so good that you're like, shoot, my theme doesn't look as good as this checkout page does. It's kind of out of place. And so that's what we're shooting for. And of course, like we'll have a way, if you are a designer or have a style, someone who's styling your checkout, or if your default theme has, a better default checkout, we'll have settings to say like, don't use PMPro's new awesome style theme, use the default styling theme. So that's planned for, we call it PMPro 3.1, whether it's 3.1 or 3.2 or 4.0 or whatever. But probably we're going to get started like, over the next few months. And it is a big update. So, I mean, it's the kind of thing where we would say like, let's shoot for the end of the year. And if we get it out, early next year, that would be really good. But that's in target. But also like, if you're building the site now or you're doing something like, hire a designer to change the checkout. Like, and if there's something like specific, you're like, oh, I need it like 2 columns, or, to use Ajax to load, or multi-step is something we're working on. So I don't, like the WooCommerce checkout, I don't think by default is multi-step. It kind of is, because it loads the checkout portion, like using Ajax. I mean, we're interested in like what you specifically mean by like modern checkout process. I'm keeping tabs. I feel like we're trying to skate to where the puck is. Like we're thinking about multi-step checkout. I feel like there's rumbles in the winds of people pushing back at the multi-step checkout, and they went like single step. So we're like, yeah, let's make it, support both potentially. And 1 columns or 2 columns, it should look good on mobile, all these things, like we're going to take it from first principles and use our combined like 100 years of experience designing websites to build the best checkout possible. It's coming soon.
I feel like so many of the things that I purchase now online use shop, and I literally put in my email. It's actually kind of scary, but I put it in just my email, and it pulls
Yeah.
my credit card, my address, where to ship it to, my name, like everything, and then it's all in one app, like from
Yeah.
Amazon to my quilting stuff, like everything. A little
Wild.
scary
Yeah,
because there's
Stripe,
really not like a
Pay-
password on that.
PayPal, all those have kind of some way to detect it's you, and they're like, "Hey, I know who you are." You know, Google, Apple Pay, all those are trying to skip the checkout. So, I think we're really thinking of it as like a registration process, and then to check out as fast as possible. You know, so splitting things up, I think, helps too.
Splitting
Yeah.
it up also enables things like order bumps and,
Yeah.
when upgrades along the checkout process, like, did our next tier membership's only X more. We can give it to you now for $12 more. Ideas for that and with order bumps, they said, yeah. So
Mhm.
ideas for how to do that where they make sense, keeping in mind like your goals to profit from your membership site and like creating experiences that are transparent to members and that members want to engage with, not giving people too many tools to do things that come across like as not focused on the member, focused on the user and their experience using your site.
Yeah. Are we
3 Hive
asking?
wants to
Oh, go ahead.
know, do you have updated information on how to add sponsored members to a membership subscription since the 3.0 release that you can direct me to, or is it up the same as before?
You want to take that one, Kim? Or
I would just add sponsored members is being slowly sunset in replacement of the group accounts features. If you're asking about adding it to an existing membership, I think there's some custom scripts we have to like retroactively create the group account for a member that exists as a membership in the site. Maybe you're thinking of something else.
yeah, and I think so. Sponsored members maybe had a feature when you're editing a user, you could set them as a sponsor or give them credits or something like that. It's going to be awkward. I don't think for sponsored members we added a member panel. I think you go back to the
No.
edit user page and find the same section. So there's probably a lot of plugins like that. We used to add stuff to the edit user page, and so you can go look there and see if
Yeah.
it's there. And I think for the plugins like groups account, that update's probably already out. The groups
Yeah.
account turning,
Panel.
giving someone, doing the similar thing in groups account, there's a panel for it. So it's only
Yeah.
because we're sunsetting sponsored members that we're not doing stuff like that. But it's still possible. It doesn't break. It's just a little awkward now.
In line with the group add-on, is there any update on when the import function will be available for the groups add-on?
Is that
There's a
like
PR
importing
is in
users
review
with
with group relationships, importing members with group relationships pre-established. There's an open
Okay.
PR on the repository for that. So it's
Any day
when
now.
it gets reviewed and when it gets released. So no clear idea. But if you feel comfortable working with in progress code and you want to test it in a local site or a development site, check out that GitHub repository for group accounts and that pull request for import.
Sweet. Yeah, I know that's important. I have
Should we talk
notes
about the
on
future?
the next step. Yeah.
Yeah, let's talk about the future. That's why you're here. So we don't
Yeah.
overshare.
Yeah. You're like, what did you already say? You should message me in the
Nothing.
private chat.
You
all the stuff
promised
you
the
promised.
world.
We promised nothing. Sam's long.
So I got a list here. I'll go through it.
Nice.
Yeah, the first thing that's next for Pay Memberships Pro is we're going to support the launch of 3.0. So everyone, if you haven't noticed, is all hands on deck. If you open your, ticket in our paid support form, we're going to be right on top of it. We're paying extra attention to our contact form and the .org forms, which we always support anyway. But for sure, be as nice as possible in those interactions and give us as much detail and cooperate with our agents. And if there's, we've been testing this for over 3 months. So a lot of it is very, very solid. A lot of the kinks already came out. We have great beta testers and people who helped out. We've been running it on our own website for a bunch of months. So we're very, there's, it's very solid, and it's as solid as we could have it before releasing. But at the same time, this is WordPress. There's 90,000 plus sites with different configurations on different hosts with different add-ons, and we're getting all the questions today. So yeah, let us know what's going on. We're going to support the launch. All right, then next up, maybe at a high level, right? I'll get to the juicy feature stuff towards the end, but at a high level for Paid Memberships Pro as a business, like we're going to continue to stay focused on like the free users and having free software, and linking to the GitHub account for a paid add-on because you want to test a feature before it comes out, or even just use it without having to pay. We're going to focus on free because we support the GPL and we think it ends up with the best software. We think having like the most people using this software means there's going to be the most attention, most developers. It's as open as possible, and you'll get the best result. And then we sell services and stuff to our paying customers on that. We're also focused on open source in that sense. Like we've kind of internally and maybe publicly said the phrase that like, oh man, like we're more open source than WordPress is. You can't go to the WooCommerce subscriptions GitHub account right now and see like what PRs are going on for their, what's happening there. And a number of things, right? Like ways that, we're kind of more committed to open source. And so we're going to keep leaning into that and keep building software and pushing it out. And what's interesting is like, we'll get specifically some features and add-ons. We've always had this, part of that openness is like when we create like a gist for one customer or internal use, we make it public and share it. And it's, there's a downside to that, because then you might end up using a gist like before it was fully baked. And then later we're like, shoot, it's sponsored members isn't the right name. It should be called group accounts, and it should work this way. And it has 50 features, but only 30 of them are the ones that we want to support ongoing, that kind of thing. But we're, that's part of the process is, pushing stuff out as early as possible. And now that 3.0 is kind of out of the way, we can redirect our attention to some of our add-ons, some of our gists, and some of the code that we have out, and refresh it, make it better. Like we can look at the front end, make it better. So we're kind of in that like take the stuff that's working and make it better frame of mind for features. And that's part of like our commitment to open source and how we work on software that way. And then also related to that, like our user base, like we're focused on the DIY do-it-yourself user. There's a wide range of people who use this product. There's a wide range of sites. There's sites that are making over $10 million a year with Paid Memberships Pro. There's sites making millions of dollars. There's sites making hundreds of dollars. There's your sites that don't even make money. They're free. I think we'll try to focus on getting paid. It's Paid Memberships Pro. E-commerce is a big portion. That'll be our focus, but people use it for free too. So we're focused on the DIY user. I think Matt Moenweg in like a recent talk at WordCamp Asia potentially said something like, hey, we're focused on developers and bringing them into the fold and serving them as like a user base, which is cool. Like if the WordPress core does that, I think that's really important to bring those folks into the fold. And it's something we think about too, is, kind of like making sure developers, we use WordPress coding standards. We do things in a way that, makes it easy and approachable. It's open source, is developer friendly. But in reality, like if our competition and others are turning away from this DIY user, we're like, hey, we like you. You're our people. You people who get things done on their own. That's cool. That's like our those are our people. I think we did a survey once. Something like 80% of the users are like either like the only person working on the site, or they're like the president of the company and they have a little bit of help on the site. And we were kind of shocked by that stat, and we were like, that's actually good. I like that. I like that. These people are just like us. Let's support them. So yeah, that's high level what we're focused on, like keeping it free, being open source, focusing on the DIY, the little guy. I think we're feeling the squeeze in terms of like big and small sites. So of course, like big sites can use us and they can have, developers on staff that maintain it and help support it. Some of the developers that contribute back, like the third-party developers, is because they run like a large site on the side. But the little guys kind of getting squeezed from the gateways and some of the other companies that like, hey, if you can't afford the product, we're not going to focus on you. The business model at the gateway is set up to, it's better if they get one giant $10 million a year Shopify WooCommerce site than if they get, $1,000, $10,000 or whatever, you know, the math is, you know, like $1,000, $10,000 a year sites. They'd rather have one big $10 million a year sites. And it's funny, like that's the same amount of money. So to them, and what they're trying to make money, they're like, hey, we're hitting all our stats. And it's like, they got one new site and there's 9,999 sites. They're trying to make a membership site and no one was there for them. And it's like, oh, we're there for you. Like we're there for the little guy. So anyway, another thing that's next is like community. So we've been, we have like the community Slack now that's engaged and people are in there. We're letting people in, even if you're free. I forget like what the formal process is for like getting an invite. We're taking it slow. We like, it's important to keep the vibe good in there. And we take it seriously in terms of, you know, there's guidelines in keeping the tone of, you know, we have to like, you know, jump on bad behavior immediately, but it's like surprisingly, like people are awesome in there. And so we're going to continue to keep it awesome and also figure out some new things that we can do.
I think all the people who participate, this is community too, being here, watching me for 4 hours and Sam and Jason today, you know, however much you've streamed for it, participating in chat. It's just, you know, that's community to us also. So kudos to all of you.
Totally. Yeah. We're gonna so we're thinking about ways to do that, to help folks help each other, talk through things. And kind of related to that is like, hey, and related to 3.0 is we're going to use multiple memberships per user ourselves on our own site to sell courses to help folks. And some of the courses are free. So we already have like the Membership Accelerator program, which is an awesome course that we did with a marketing guru, Jose Palomino. I don't know if he likes that guru term. Jose Palomino was kind of a coach of ours, and and he did an awesome session that we recorded a few years ago that's still applicable. And Sam turned it into a course and split up the videos. And so you can get the first video, you can get a taste of that for free, and then you can pay for the the rest of that. And so I think we have courses in the works already, to kind of start for like what is like the development 101, like how to use PMPro, stuff related to like partner training. So like we want, like when you say I want to import users, that seems really complicated. It actually is. How do I find someone to help me? We have some people we can send you to now, but they're overworked, or they, it's hard. It's more expensive than maybe you thought it would be. So it's like, hey, let's put out the training. So maybe you can do it yourself, or like train the other developers so that there's a better ecosystem of people helping you with Paid Memberships Pro. So we're planning to do a bunch of that. And then moving on to, I have on here the front end updates. So we started talking about that, but I can reiterate if people missed that, we want the checkout experience to be as, awesome and smooth as possible. We're going to make our best effort to make it good. Kind of like a sub feature of that is what we call multi-step checkout. And so it's breaking out like create the user, update the account information, pay for the thing. And there's all kinds of neat things when you split it up that you can do. One neat thing you could do is you can just skip the steps and go right to paying and kind of like make up, just get their email and make everything up. And like the payment is as fast as possible if that's really important. Or we kind of have a system now with like approvals. It's like, hey, like sign up, fill out some information, get approved. You can do this like through add-ons and some clever development, but we'll make it easier to like sign up, fill out your form. Then we figure out which plan is the best for you based on what you said, and like, give them upsells or like just put them in the right membership. So that's fun. And then other things like abandoned cart. So if we're collecting information like through checkout, like they're already a user in the system, you have some information about them, maybe their email or their phone number. And if they don't complete payment for some reason, you can reach out to them and get payment. So that's fun. That's stuff in the works. And then also just, of course, like making it beautiful. And like we said, we wanted to like outshine your theme and then be like, shoot, I better switch to MemberLite because my theme sucks in comparison to the PMPro checkout. Like that's the kind of feedback we want to get. While still making it compatible with like every gateway everyone wants to use and can do all the things and doesn't break any add-ons. It's gonna be a lot of fun. That's why it takes months and months of work, hard work. We got a good team though. In the refresh spirit, we also want to refresh add-ons. So I said, like, just like group accounts, like sponsored members came up when I got on the call, and it's like, well, now we have this thing called group accounts, which is like our best effort. Like if we built, like the task was actually like, forget sponsored members in a sense. And like, if everything you knew about that, you started from scratch, how would you build it? And that's what we did with group accounts. And I don't know if it's 10% or 20% of the people who are using sponsored members for like very specific things that group accounts doesn't handle. Like we really tried like that 80-20 split, but for the 80% of the use case, it hits it even better. It's more thought out. It's better designed. It looks better. It's more solid base to build from and all that things. So we're planning to do that with like our directory plugin, potentially our donations plugin or add-on. Our limit post views add-on needs to refresh. So that's like kind of the pop-up style, like, hey, you know, you don't have access to this, like ways to nag people into getting access. And so there's quite a few clever patterns that sites like New York Times originally, but like Post, Substack, and other Medium and others have like these really interesting ways of like, hey, you can read it, but okay, like you should probably sign up, or like, can I, you know, sign up for this other thing? And like, so we want to work on those. Importing is something like we've updated the import tool recently. So now it's one add-on. It's not like two plugins that you have to like figure out and add. It's only one, but it's still like an old paradigm in terms of the UI and how nice it is, like helping you clean up. We can make that, you know, even better. That's maybe our next shirts will be say like even better.
Do
So make
even better.
importing even better. Yeah.
What do you think about the
And
series
then-
add-on, Jason? The drip series?
Yeah, I almost
Maybe,
put
maybe
that
not.
here. Yeah, potentially. I think
Or user pages. There's a, I mean, they all, some
Yeah,
of the
user
ones you
pages is
mentioned were the
fun.
most used, most installed, you know, for the two I just
I
mentioned.
almost
like
put those on the list. Yeah,
for sites
I'll
that
put
need
them on my
yeah.
list here.
Okay,
Yeah.
thanks. They can be on the bottom.
I'm definitely excited for the member directory
Yes.
work that we have in site, because that will be fun.
Yeah. One thing that's like there's like an out there idea that I'm excited about is I'm trying to think of what this is called. See, I don't even know. It's like I think it's some place was called like, I don't know, like quick courses,
Micro
but
courses.
basically or what I'm thinking is give people the things to sell. So when you set up PMPro, it kind of like, do you want a free or paid account? And it's all on you to figure out like what to sell. I want to make it really easy to be like, oh, I want to sell I'll do phone calls for this much per hour. And like, boom, now you got a level, and it's already like, maybe it's minor booking functionality. Build a bookings plugin for PMPro. The same thing for like kind of directories and advertising is like taking control of those things of like, oh, you already have, like I said, with a bunch of content, boom, you're making money immediately. Like you don't have to, we put the effort on I mean, it's fine. Like, hey, it's your site and your business. You have to do some of the work. It's like, you got to figure out what to sell. But I think it helps, especially in the MMPU world where it's like, I'm doing these things. Like, could I also do these other things? It's like, oh, just create a level. It's not that hard, actually. You can do it now. Create a level, call it, talk to me. Set it for $100 to $300, and then when people, you know, use custom fields integration built into PMPro 3.0 to like ask for a phone number, and then just, you know, call them when they sign up.
I think just like how page builders have patterns that you can insert into your content, an idea that you can, you know, have this like library of membership products to pull from to help inspire you to create an idea for something new to sell. I talked earlier stream about, you know, we're always like, get new members, but a lot of what is in 3.0 is like, get more value from the members you already have. So you're not always out there fishing for new members. Sometimes you're just kind of eking value out of the community you have already, which is, we want to enable both those paths.
Yep. We thought about, hey, how do we help people grow their memberships? And we're like, man, some of our best users don't need to. Like, they're the, you know, West End City Township car collectibles club. And you're like, yeah, it's the same 30 dudes. And it's mostly dudes. Sorry. I don't know. There's probably some women that collect cars there too. But actually it's often couples. Like it's very frustrating. Like those membership sites when it's like you and your spouse and they share an account. That's common in the collectible car sites. But anyway, you know, so it's like, it's the same 30 people and they're not necessarily trying to grow, but we like them too. So lots of cool ideas there. And then other things that are kind of on our mind one other thing is reporting. So we have, if you're not using it, I think you should. Is it a paid plugin? The reports dashboard.
It is a standard plugin. Yeah. No, it's plus.
Yeah. Plus,
Okay.
plus. Okay. Yeah, I use this all the time. You know, it's like an app on my phone, and it loads the PMPro logo, and then it tells me how much money I made today. And I look at it about 30 times a day. And if your site's as successful as ours, it gives you like a little jolt of serotonin to help you through the day. And maybe if you see a zero, like we do every once in a while, something's broken, we got to do something, like it'll motivate you to go out there and get paid. But now that we have that, we basically want to like build like Metric for PayMemberships Pro. We really like how they do, advanced reporting and comparison and, order lookups and stuff right from mobile. So we have that in the works. And I think what's going to inform a lot of our reporting, we dog food, we use someone said there's a better term for dog fooding. I forget.
Oh, is there? We like
Yeah,
dogs.
it's just like,
so.
We like dogs, actually. Yeah. Must love dogs. Dog feeding is good. It's like a, it's like a, I don't know. It's a prettier term or something. Kids are getting home. This will be fun. But for the reporting, we also use PayMemberships Pro, sell with PayMemberships Pro. So we do this. I think what's going to inform a lot of our reporting is tying it to sales and marketing strategies. So if you're using our reporting tools now or in the future, we want you to be using them and the strategy, and maybe we'll have a course for free that upsells into a paid course that's telling you like, hey, here's why you should care about these reporting numbers and the things that you can do to make them go up and how it ties to your email campaigns, content marketing, and reach out and all this stuff. So that's the list.
That's cool. My list has a dashboards for you as admin to see kind of at-risk members, members whose payments are in retrial stage. So if you were doing like a very high touch customer success and retention strategies, so that's all enabled by the subscriptions table. More screens that can show you reports about that, recently lapsed members that you can outreach to. So some reporting. It is still reporting, but not just revenue and sales focused, but then also kind of recovery and account recovery focused. It's interesting to me.
Yeah.
As the person that likes to hunt it all down.
Yeah, that's big. And this is one where like, I think early on when people asked for these kinds of things, it felt a little bit, I still feel this way about some things in business where like, hey, don't focus on the people who aren't paying you, go find the people who are paying you, right? So if you like that failed payment, you're like, boom, move on to the next, One, that doesn't work for every, like if you're the collectible car club of wherever, you're like, that guy still lives next to me and he has a nice car, like I'm going to try to get him in my thing. You're not willing to like let go, or like if you're like, I support all nurses in America or something, like, if your membership has an existence outside your website and you just need to keep them in your website and paid, like you have to follow up. It's not just a customer and you're like, we'll get rid of that one and I'll get a new one. Even if your members are customers in the sense, like you still don't want to just let them go lightly. Like I think depending on your phase of development of like your products and the content and positioning of whatever you're selling in your membership, you may care more or less about staying on top of every single user and like hunting them down. And there's nice, ethical, good ways to like remind people that they need to pay for access to their thing. Yeah. and we're going to build the tooling to facilitate that. So you can get and subs table fixes that. Like one thing that kept us from doing that was that like a big part of that is like they were supposed to pay or they are supposed to pay on what date. And we used to kind of know like what that day was, but we let the gateway handle that. And now we still let the gateway handle that, but we keep it in tighter sync. So when we show you that report, it's like, hey, here are the people who are supposed to pay, so you can watch them and see if they pay. And then here's, we can like more immediately show you like the people who haven't paid and like what step of not paying they're at. Things like that. It's good.
Yeah. And on the marketing side, in the spirit of catering to those DIYers and refreshes, our recipes for premium users are getting a big overhaul this year, where we're including a little bit more educational information via things about like WordPress, things about PMPro Pro, what is actually happening when you add code to your site. Because right now, a lot of our posts are just like, yes, put this in the code snippets plugin. And you may not know what it actually does. So we're refreshing those a lot.
Yeah, that's
That's
exciting.
exciting.
And I think like
DIYers will be developers too.
Yeah.
Cross
yeah,
sect.
totally. These like so we didn't talk about AI, which I do a lot of time thinking about, like the AI tools that are coming out and how that can help folks build sites and do things. It's on my mind for ways to help us, and the ways we help us can help others. But it did make me think about that with the code. Like people can very easily generate code and copy and paste it into their site now with the help of AI. So we're, instead of leaning into that, like the tools for that are around, we're like, oh, we got to counterbalance that with educating the people to be, to know enough so that they can wisely use the code that the AI generates on their site. And so we feel our own code gists that, at least we had a human developer write them and review them. So the code is solid in some sense, but it's like, oh, but how can we help like when's it appropriate to use this? How would I change it? How do I think about this?
Yep.
Yeah, that's a
what
good
number
effort.
is not to change, like my smart person over
Yeah.
here changing the wrong numbers.
Yeah.
Real quick before we wrap up, we do have
Okay.
one question. Are you guys going to be adding more refined membership permissions / daily restrictions? I'm using Buddy Boss, so not sure if Buddy Boss or membership plugin should have all the additional permissions.
So we do already support daily memberships and hourly memberships. And our Buddy Press / Buddy Boss integration has pretty granular logic. It could go deeper, I'm sure, for what people can do within the Buddy Boss or Buddy Press
Yeah. I think it's like
setup.
feature.
There are
Yeah.
features people ask for. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, and like the Buddy Boss restrictions per membership level is based on Buddy Boss features.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe if you're like, let them use the forms, but only post 5 times,
Yes.
this doesn't feel like a feature that passes the 80/20 rule in terms of like people needing it, and feels like custom code territory for us. So if it's kind of let people use the features a certain number of times before they get locked out, that it just, it's always, so whenever every once in a while we're like, let's tackle this, and we look at like the last 10 requests that we got like this, I'm going to throw all a little different, and it's not actually possible. Like, so but I mean, if you open a support ticket and say, how do I go about doing this, we give you kind of the high level steps that you can either take if you're a developer, or like a guy who's a person who's trying to figure it out on their own, or you can take that bullet list to a codable developer or another developer and say, hey, PayMerchants Pro said this is possible, but you hook in here, you track this, and this is when you restrict. It's kind of straightforward for one site. It's pretty hard to do for a bunch of sites. In general, like, I'm a fan of Buddy Boss. I've kind of come around on them in the sense, like we didn't, like we have the Buddy Press add-on, and that worked for Buddy Boss. And there was kind of, hey, just call it Buddy Boss instead of Buddy Press. And it was like, that feels weird, like, but they, like, I think maybe it was a couple years ago, kind of split, officially forked from Buddy Press, but still maintains, so it is now like a separate platform, and it's worth kind of focusing on separately, and focusing on community ourselves. Like our users also need community features. And I did like a open office hours where I was kind of like, I really wish still there was one that just did chat really well on your website, and that's what I would want. But it's also like Buddy Boss does that pretty well. You do have to like kind of accept our theme overall to get the best design for it. So I have it in the back of my head to kind of explore Buddy Boss more, kind of. But I feel free to open a ticket and we'll figure out what you really mean by limiting features of Buddy Boss. But I don't suspect we'll build features to like put like how many posts or like how many replies or how many DMs. It's like, is that like a dating site thing? We love to do, but also like other sites do that. Or like often. If you have experts talking to end users in the same Buddy Boss environment. Yeah, we don't have like a.
I think in general that lends into also like user generated content, front end posting. I know there's someone in my Twitter DMs curious about how PMPro could tackle that. All the solutions out there are like lacking for them. So it's on my mind to explore through a really long stream or written tutorial at this time, but it's all the ideas that people have relating to posting and metering the amount of posting people can do. Gets pretty unique per site, but for the ones
is that what
need it,
you know how I'm like, we pushed off directories for a while, we put bookings, there's a few bookings plugins that might be good. People keep asking for things and I'm like, that's complicated, it's not really 80-20. I'm sniffing that this might be that thing. 5 years from now we're like, we should have built a tool to limit things.
Events has really ramped up too. I feel like when we first started
Okay.
open office hours, we didn't really hear a lot about events, and now we're getting like a lot of questions about events calendars and how to integrate with that. And someone in this chat earlier mentioned Zoom events where non-members pay $5 to join, members get in for free. I sent them the link to our Zoom post that we did, but events is really ramping up.
Yeah, I almost put that down. It's like multiple memberships per user, like the ability to have more than one level at a time, opens up a way to like do like
ticketing.
Yeah, like you could, what's the word, like ad hoc lo-fi events, like just make a level, call it my event, and then put the information to access the event behind the membership restriction. And now like you're selling access to an event,
That's what I'm planning to do for the Quilting Guild on their site, is like the different retreats and everything is just create another level. And as soon as the event's over, just disable signups, or
I think we had someone
disable signups.
Do it with multi-site, and they had like a conference event site, and the level was like the conference ticket, so it was a fairly high ticket item. And then the sub-site was the entire conference information.
That's smart.
Protected for that level. Yeah. Which
So
you can't really
do
that's
with
a lot
of work. It's a whole other site. But if you're doing like one event per year or like one event at a time, you can do it through multiple memberships per user. So I think, hey, you don't really need an events plugin. Here's how to do it. And like, can we build some tooling to like lightweight events? Might become a thing. Because I think it's different. Like maybe you really do need all the features of the events plugins, but it seems like sometimes they have a bunch of features you don't really need, and then like maybe the core thing of like, I want to charge this much for a member and this much for a non-member seems to be hard for us to implement for them and keep maintained. Like they keep updating things and breaking it, and you know what I mean? It's that thing where the events plugins are also membership plugins and have their own e-commerce, and then how do we integrate with them? So it's kind of like, we're gonna build our own events plugin, but I don't want to build a calendar. So how do we do that? There's a good, maybe I'll find. There's a good
do even better.
Where someone build events as a custom post type using like advanced custom fields or one of those, and they're like, it's kind of good enough. Like you just you want to post event, all the information that's important to me, and none of the information that's not, you like have control. So I don't know, something like that could be fun. But probably the stuff that we have that's further along, like the directory plugin, donations, limit post views, importing series could use an update. User pages. We'll see. Fun.
Cool.
Awesome. So our next open office hours, this was a special one. I'm sorry. Every neighborhood dog is barking right now. I don't know what just happened, but all of them started in unison. Our next open office hours that is regularly scheduled is going to be April 4th at 2 p.m. Eastern. I'm going to be here with Jason, and we're going to debug something. I don't know what we're going to be debugging. I don't know what we're going to be fixing live, but we're going to be doing it.
Nice.
So that will be a fun thing, because I know Jason loves to do that. He just like gets in the weeds and he takes code away. And
this is one where like, it's a little idiosyncratic. There's developers have their own ways and tools of doing things, but you'll get to see at least the way I do it. So it'll be fun, and we'll take notes, and that'll become content for that Developer 101 course.
Yeah.
There you go.
So
thanks everyone for bearing with us for this very long. It's the first time we did this for a release. I liked it. Tiring, but good. We were originally trying to go like 8 hours straight nonstop, but I think the little break helped my sanity. Sam got to take a moment of break also. Jason, thanks for coming on with us.
All right, thank you.
to kick it off and to close it out.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye, everybody.